Welcome to Crash Course
with
Shukthi
and Ashley Goff.
Today we'll be looking at modernization, a case study
In China and Japan.
China had a large amount of natural resources, such as their healthy agricultural industry, and benefited from a great mining industry and manufacturing industry of cloth and porcelain. The Chinese rarely traded with the West due to this self-sufficiency, and the only port open to foreigners was Guangzhou. Even there, the balance of trade was in China's favor, and China earned great profits. The British did find one product in demand in China, opium, a habit-forming narcotic used by Chinese doctors, but was eventually turned into a drug. Opium addiction in China and Britain's refusal to stop trading opium resulted in the Opium War, which China lost due to its outdated ships and was forced to give Hong Kong to Britain. Rebellions against the Qing dynasty, such as the Taiping Rebellion, led by Hong Jiuquan, began to occur as China's population increased and the availability of resources decreased. The Taiping's rebellion's goal of creating the heavenly kingdom of great peace, where no one lived in poverty, was lost due to political infighting and external pressures. In 1862, Empress Dowager Cixi took control and was thoroughly committed to traditional values, and while she did support the self-strengthening movement, the reforms had mixed results. Foreign countries began to take advantage of China's problems and attack, but the U.S., a longtime trading partner of China, was able to save them from colonization by announcing an open-door policy, and also simultaneously saving American trade with China. China's next young emperor, Guangxu, pushed for more Western reforms, but was arrested by court officials who were afraid of losing their power, and replaced again by Empress Dowager Cixi. The Chinese people were frustrated at the special privileges given to foreigners and other Chinese people for adopting Christianity, which led to the Boxer Rebellion in the spring of 1900 in the European sector of Beijing. Though they were defeated by a multinational force, a strong sense of nationalism was created. The Qing court realized they need to reform their government, and Empress Dowager Cixi sent foreign ministers to study the Western world. It adopted a constitutional monarchy from Japan, which was established in 1917, and other reforms based on countries such as America, Britain, France, and Russia.
From the 17th to 19th century, Japan was isolated but peaceful under the rigid feudal system of the Tokugawa shoguns. However, this isolation ended in 1853, when U.S. Commodore Matthew Perry entered the Tokyo harbor with massive, steam-powered black ships. This shocked the Tokugawa shogun and forced Japan to wake up from its deep sleep. They received Perry, who gave them a letter from U.S. President Fillmore asking for free trade between the nations. Eventually, this led to the Treaty of Kanagawa of 1854, which allowed the U.S. to take supplies from 2 Japanese ports. By 1860, Japan had opened up vastly to trade amongst foreigners at several ports. However, the Japanese turned against the Tokugawa shogun for opening Japan and turned towards the young Emperor Mutsuhito in 1867. Mutsuhito initiated the 45-year-long Meiji Reform, in which he sent diplomats to observe European and North American ways. From this, Japan adopted Germany's government and army, Britain's navy, and America's public education system. By 1890, Japan had the strongest military power in Asia, and its economic strength had increased significantly. Then Japan, were adamant to show dominance on the world stage, targeted Korea, but since China was also eyeing Korea, the two nations signed a keep-out agreement in 1885. In June 1894, however, China broke that agreement to aid Korea, so the Japanese sent troops to drive at the Chinese, known as the Sino-Japanese War. Eventually, in 1895, a peace treaty was formed, gaining Japan, Taiwan, and the Pescadores Islands. Japan then turned its focus towards Russia, and conflict over Manchuria resulted in the Russo-Japanese War, where Japan sneak attacked Russian ships in Manchuria in 1904. Japan drove Russia out of Korea, captured most of its Pacific Fleet, and destroyed its Baltic Fleet. Eventually, in 1905, Japan and Russia formed the Treaty of Portsmouth with the help of U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt, which gave Japan the captured territories and forced Russia to leave Manchuria and keep out of Korea. Afterward, Japan set its sights on Korea and made it its protectorate in 1905. The Korean government was too weak to resist, and in 1907, the Korean king relinquished power. Then, in 1910, Japan annexed Korea and imposed harsh reforms that were biased towards the Japanese. Japan's oppressive rule eventually led to the Korean nationalist movement.
We hope you enjoyed this lesson.
See you next time
With Shukthi and Ashley
on Crash Course.